Hi guys, TechGirl88 here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to install Skinomi on the iPhone 5, 5C, and 5S. This particular model that I'll be installing it on is of course the 5S. It's got the Touch ID, and so that's actually going to mean we need to be a little bit more careful with the installation process as we are going to be using liquids. So the first thing to do is to turn the phone off, and this is just to make sure none of the liquid on the screen damages the phone. We're also going to want to take off our case. And we want to make sure this is completely shut down, so it is. Okay, we're also going to take off our old screen protector. Well, actually, first, we'll wait on that for a second. Let's go ahead and open our Skinomi package. This happens to be the full body one. I don't think I'm going to install the full body, the back of it, just yet. Just mostly want to focus on the screen. And so, of course, it includes the application liquid, which if you run out of this, just put some water in there and it should be good, but I don't think you'll run out of it. It comes with the squeegee and a cloth, and of course the Skinomi, which this one's in different pieces because, like I said, it is the full body one. Of course, the full body one, it's going to take a lot longer to do. So we will just focus on the front piece. I think you can see that. Yep. Alright, so we're just going to focus on that. So let's go ahead and take this old screen protector off. Alright, so we want to make sure our screen is nice and clean. So we're just going to wipe this off, make sure, and actually side note, you're obviously going to want to do this in a room where there's not cats or dogs around, because if they are around, I've found that the hair gets on this, gets under the screen applicator, or the screen application, and yeah, it screws things up. It won't last very long. So I'm actually gonna pick this up. Let's make sure we get every speck that we can see off of that screen, and also around that home button. Let's get it nice and clean. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, so that looks pretty clean. So now we can go ahead and get our screen protector. But first, let's go ahead and take the top off this bottle. Spray our hands a little bit, get our fingers nice and moist. Alright. Alright, now we're ready to handle this. So the key with these is to not get them too wet, but get them wet enough. So if they're not wet enough, it's hard to apply, and if it's too wet, obviously that could do water damage to your phone, which is not good. Okay, so I like to do a side approach, so I'm lining up the top and the bottom. So we want to make sure that home button is perfectly lined up. We also want to make sure the front-facing camera is perfectly lined up. The advantage of using just enough liquid is that you can move this around a little and play with it. And we want to make sure that our Touch ID isn't covered up at all. Our front-facing camera isn't covered up at all. So that looks pretty good. So we'll grab our cloth and our squeegee. And we're going to go ahead and start towards the top and work our way down. You can see a lot of excess liquid comes off the side, so you want to hold this kind of cloth real close by in case you need to catch some of that so it doesn't go on any of the phone hardware. And you don't want to take off too much of this liquid off the top of the screen because that's helping you with the squeegee to kind of go underneath nice and good. It's going to be kind of delicate. It's best to use a slow approach with this. You go too fast, the liquid's going to come out everywhere and, you know, could do some damage to your phone or whatever. So it's best to go slow. Alright, so you need to make sure if it's going on that touch button, we definitely want to get that cleaned up real fast so it doesn't do any damage to it. I mean, generally speaking, though, I've installed tons of these for me and family and friends. Generally speaking, water damage doesn't happen from these. It's very extreme cases where they just practically pour a bucket of water on the screen and then, you know, slap the screen protector on there. That's obviously not recommended. Okay. So I make sure there's no liquid there, no bubbles. See a little bubble. It's gonna fix. Alright, so now we can go and turn this around and start working on the top half of this. Just pushing a lot of water up. You can see this is really just gonna, flood out of there. And again, if it's gonna go, the liquid's gonna go anywhere near the earpiece, which of course it will. You want to make sure you're right there with the cloth to kind of wipe it up so it doesn't seep in there. Alright. Alright, so now next what I like to do is I like to go around each one of these edges and just kind of push and make sure there's no excess liquid. No bubbles or anything like that. So you can see a few little areas right here at this corner that I need to just kind of push out. And let's see, should be good. Sometimes these, you have a few stubborn bubbles underneath that you just kind of have to keep working at until you get them out. Sometimes you just have to use kind of the thicker edge of this to push those out. Alright, so we should be able to turn this on now. Some people say to, wait 24 hours. I never have. It's never really negatively affected my phone, but again, maybe I've just been, lucky. We can go ahead and just kind of wipe this off all over and make sure there's no wet spots or anything like that. Alright, so we'll test Touch ID and make sure it works. Oh, passcode required after restarting. That's a new one. Then again, I don't really restart this, so I'll test the Touch ID. So it worked just fine. Placement looks good. I don't see any bubbles. Of course, you will kind of see a gritty, you'll see kind of a gritty look to the phone screen afterwards. It's just because of the water and everything underneath there just kind of settling in. You've obviously already taken out as much water as you could from under the screen. That usually goes away after 24 hours, and then it's super clear and basically looks like you don't have a screen protector on. So I hope you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions for upcoming videos, feel free to comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading lots of these going forward. I will see you in my next video.